Hey, what's up everybody? Blake here at ToyTec for another Tech Tip Tuesday. Today we're going to be installing our ToyTec diff breather relocation. I want to show you guys how to do this without having to route the hose through the body through the positive vent valve right here. If you go through this vent to go into the body, anytime you go through a body of water, anything like that, the hose creates an opening in that flap, and you can get water, dirt, all kinds of crap inside there, which you don't want. It can get inside your cargo area and just make things all dirty. So what I've done in here, if you want to get a shot, I have made a small slit in the rubber in the gas cap. That way we can stick our hose through there. So after you make your slit, fish your hose in there. All right, after you got it through the hole, start fishing it through. And at the breather side, leave yourself a little gap between the breather and the hose. That way that rubber can seal around the skinnier portion of that breather instead of trying to seal around the hose clamp. That way it just looks nice and reduce the risk of dirt and crap getting in the filler. Cool. So now that that's in there, you can see it's kind of, flush, looks really nice. You can barely tell that it's there. So I have removed this kind of mud flap looking thing as well as the fender liner. This is held to the body with a handful of plastic pop rivets, 10mm bolts. We've gotten our hose through the top. Now we can secure it to these evap lines using some zip ties and start fishing it through the frame rail towards the rear diff. Okay, so this is the factory breather right there. If you can see it. Right there, there's that guy. So I've sprayed it down with some PB Blaster to break up any rust that may be holding it in there. You definitely don't want to snap this off in the axle housing. And I've also taken a rag and cleaned around this so when we do get it off, dirt and contaminants don't fall in there and get into our diff fluid. So once you got it all nice and cleaned up, you can just loosen it and take it off. Okay, so now that you've got the old breather out of the way, you can take the fitting that's supplied in the kit, thread it in, get it started by hand, and then tighten it. Now that you have your fitting all tight on the axle housing, go ahead and plumb the line onto the fitting. And just squish it all the way down. And then you'll take a flathead screwdriver and tighten the hose clamp. All right, cool. So I know that I said earlier that we were gonna trim to fit. Only trim this hose if you have a ton of excess. If you decided to maybe hang your diff breather just right above the axle on the frame somewhere. But if you went where we plumbed it to, you want to leave yourself enough slack in the hose so if you're out on the trail and you're really flexing the rear end, this doesn't try to pull out at the gas cap. I typically leave at least one good loop of slack, and that's pretty safe. Make sure not to zip tie to any of the charcoal canister lines, fuel lines, brake lines, anything that you don't want this hose to pull off, because this hose will move with the axle when you're out on the trail. So cool. Thanks for watching, guys.